September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here?
Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Doctor Who After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Doctor Who After Show.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another Doctor Who wrap-up show, Season 7, Episode 3, A Town Called Mercy.
Yes.
I feel like I should do that with an accent or something.
A Town Called Mercy.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you kindly.
I would try the accent, but it's just, it would be bad.
Fine. We can't have two of us now, can we?
No, I guess we can't.
Oh, see, there we go.
All right, there it was. All right. Okay, so I'd just like to start by saying I just got a tweet from Father Wizard saying that we never found out if the preacher accepted Susan's life choices.
Ah, that's true. And I have in my notes here, I was like, I want to see a spin-off series called A Horse Named Susan.
I kind of want that, too.
A Town Called Mercy, A Horse Named Susan.
I was actually thinking that would be a really good name for the episode as well.
Oh, absolutely.
A horse that curses?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
No swearing. No swearing, Susan.
Well, before we get into the episode, I actually did want to mention that because, like, I love when he speaks other languages. Like, he speaks baby.
Yep, he speaks baby, speaks horse.
I love the... there's a couple others, I think, but...
Yeah, he speaks every language.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome. That's like comedy gold. But, all right, so let's start off with what did you think?
Okay, so I thought this was an okay episode, and with every season of Doctor Who, you're gonna have great episodes, you're gonna have okay episodes, but I had a lot of fun with it because it's one of those great moral dilemma episodes, and Doctor Who always does those really well. I felt like it was kind of a spiritual successor to Midnight from season 4 of the new series. I loved the structure of it. It was very much a love song from Brits to really, I think, Western television.
Yeah.
Like, it was very Gunsmoke to me.
Totally was.
Very, very Gunsmoke, and then elements of High Noon in there. I do think that Matt Smith's performance in this episode saved a script that was not quite there.
Totally agree.
Because the Doctor, and we'll get into this, makes some choices that on the surface wouldn't necessarily work with him, but I bought it. Instead of being like, the Doctor wouldn't do that, I was like, Doctor, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Let's talk about this.
And he totally played the rage up, too. It was like angry. I wrote down Angry Doctor like 6 or 7 times.
Angry Doctor.
It was kind of awesome. And I know that, Jex is his name, right?
Yeah, Kahler-Jex.
Yeah, Kahler-Jex. So he said, I see rage in you.
Yes.
I mean, he said a number of things, but he said, I see rage in you, and you really saw it. I mean,
yeah.
And I think maybe by this episode, this season, we're not really asking would the Doctor do that anymore because he's been totally out of character.
No.
So
I think that he's allowing his rage to creep through, and Amy brings this up a lot in this episode, just sort of, and really the whole season. When you're not with us, you change.
Yeah.
And I think that loneliness, if he doesn't have someone to play off of and someone to really, I don't know if this was in seasons 5 through 7 or if it was earlier, but at one point the Doctor said, I need someone with me because otherwise I don't see it anymore. I don't see it through your eyes. I don't see the wonder of it anymore because I've seen it all.
Yeah.
And I feel like that loneliness causes those negative feelings to creep back in. and he's far more about retribution than he can ever be about being better, which is another point that's raised in this episode that we will get to. I want to know, like, from the top of the episode, you have this guy running away. You know, you have your blue reticle. It's the gunslinger.
Make peace with your gods.
Yeah, bearing down on Collar. Moss was his name, and then he says, "I'm coming for the doctor." And it was a little fake out. What did you think?
I honestly don't think that worked. I don't even think it was necessary at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they did it because, like we were talking about last week, they're doing these as movie posters. I mean, it's like this is supposed to be a Western.
Yes.
So
hence the Stetson.
Indeed, which is fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
I love it. But I think it was sort of made it look like a Western movie or a Western TV show. And didn't really add anything to the episode at all.
No, and you know, Doctor Who loves to do these the pre-credits beats of, like, you know, you set up the problem on a planet. In this case, you know, we're setting up the gunslinger as a force to be reckoned with. You know, I actually, honestly, because I saw that clip ahead of the episode, I thought that was Kahler-Jex.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, so is that a flash forward and he's coming back for the doctor because of something that happens in the episode? No, it's more of a throwaway moment. But then we very, very quickly get into the action in this episode. We don't get any kind of establishment of, you know, did the doctor drop them back off and then pick them back up? They've just been with him for a while now, and they're in the Old West, and this is just happening.
Yeah,
which is fine and which is fun, but a little unsettling.
I thought it was too. I mean, it was great that they jumped right in with the comedy about like rocks and. They are sticks and rocks. Like, and dry cleaning and keep out is sort of a suggestion.
Yeah,
like,
have people been peeking at my Christmas list?
I know. And the glee on his face.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, something terrible's going to happen. Ooh, I love
Delightful. And then the moment when he goes into the saloon and he orders tea. The strongest you got. Leave the bag in.
That was so fantastic.
So funny. And then the bit with the toothpick.
Yeah.
Really, Matt Smith this season, I think, has been firing on all cylinders.
Oh, yeah.
He really, really gets all the levels of this character. And really, there's just so many tonal shifts. It's a very hard part to play.
Yeah.
And I think that he's really coming into his own as the character. And I hope that we get to see him for many more years. I think it's time, however, that we discuss our first major topic.
Yes.
Which is the moral implications of this episode.
Ooh, well, just to start out, one of the things that actually I think was well done is that you have characters, you've got two villains, maybe. You know, you've got the gunslinger and you got Jex, and both of them are completely split down the middle. Like neither one of them is good or bad. Yeah. And
murky grays.
Very much. And you actually, and that is a sort of it sort of shows that the doctor's going through the same thing, because as much as we love him, he does a lot of things that are troublesome.
Yes.
Like exterminating races.
And we discussed this on the show last time. We said the doctor is responsible for 2 genocides. A friend of mine actually corrected me later on. He's responsible for the deaths of 4 species. The Daleks, which, I mean, granted, didn't hold. Yeah. The Time Lords, the Rachnos in The Runaway Bride, and the Silence, of course, last season in the season opener. So he's done a lot of killing, and he holds that in him. Yeah. Yeah. I do think I want to ask you, Jenna, if you were in this situation, and your town was besieged by an alien of unknown origin. Yeah. And the only way that you could save your family, your friends, everybody, was to throw a war criminal who, granted, saved your whole town. Yeah. Out into the cold and let him kill him. Ooh. Would you be able to do it?
I don't know. I don't think that I would. I don't think that I would, because there's one thing to say, oh yeah, I could totally do that. Yeah. But to actually kill someone, really, I don't know if I could do it. I really don't.
I don't either. You know, it's a very hard thing to do. I think ultimately the reason why the doctor gets so angry, and the reason why he's so inconsolably raging at this guy, is it's this one little distinction. He carried out these horrific experiments on these people to end a war.
Right.
Which, you know, when you're in wartime, people do terrible things and they justify it.
Right.
But Kahler-Jex brought these people in not knowing that they were going to be experimented on and turned into weapons.
Right.
They thought that they were receiving special training. Now, if you're in a 9-year war and your entire planet has been decimated, don't you think there would be some volunteers?
Oh,
Don't you think
absolutely.
that if you said, we have an idea that could potentially end this conflict, but you may not survive?
Yeah.
I think that there would be people who would have volunteered themselves, but he didn't give anyone that chance.
Yeah.
He took their humanity from them,
Yeah.
and that is something that the Doctor cannot abide.
Yeah, and there's something I was thinking about through the episode about, and like just you even asking me that question.
Yeah.
And I think it's that for the Doctor and for most people, it would come down to the individuals rather than the greater good. And I think that's something that we see with our troops. And, you know, is it okay that this many people died to make up for something smaller? You know, it's something that there really is no answer to it. But I think with the Doctor, it's about the individual. You always see the individual and not the group.
Yeah, and we would love it if people would tweet us, what would you do if you were in this situation? Do you think the Doctor was going too far? Obviously, you know, you've seen the episode. We have this moment where he pushes him. He pushes Kahler-Jex out of that jail after Kahler-Jex compared himself to the Doctor.
Yeah.
He said, what was the line? Looking at you, Doctor, is like looking into a mirror.
Yep.
And that hit home way too hard.
It totally
with our
did.
dear Doctor.
Yeah, it totally did, because I think when he's alone, you ever go through something really horrible, have a really bad breakup or whatever, and when you're alone, you think.
You stew.
Yeah, you can't
stew
get out
and
of
you
it.
Spiral.
When you're with other people and then you go out for a night, you're like, oh my God, right. I'm a normal person.
Right.
These
the
things
real
are not
world.
so terrible.
Yeah, no, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders when really they're very simple things. However, with the Doctor, they already are the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Many worlds.
He's taken lives, and lives have been lost at his expense.
Yeah.
Because of his mistakes.
Yeah.
Or because of his choices. And he has to live with that. So imagine living with that and then spiraling.
Yeah.
And being an ages-old, near immortal being with all the power of time and space at his disposal. How can you cope? And he copes by bringing ordinary people into his life to ground him. And it really, again, leads us to the concern of what will happen when he no longer has an Amy Pond to fire a gun into the air and say, bring this man back into town. This is wrong, and you know it.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, but he called her Amelia Pond at that moment.
He did.
Which I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, well, he's not speaking to Amy, the headstrong woman. He's like you're an innocent. You have all this good in you, but you don't understand. I'm trying to save. There's no time, and it harkens back to the Beast Below.
Yeah.
In the 5th season, when he's ready to kill this star whale, not even realizing that there's another way around it. And I feel like this happens a lot in their relationship, where he has gotten so used to making hard choices that he doesn't even think that there's another option.
Yeah.
He's had so much blood on his hands that it's hard for him to realize there's another way.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things I know we talked about whether or not it was time for Amy and Rory to go, and most people feel that it is because they've become sort of so comfortable with the Doctor that I think he does need somebody who has the same kind of wonder that Amy used to have. And though she is an amazing moral compass for him, and he obviously feels very strongly about her, which is actually one of the things I love. Their chemistry is just fantastic.
It's always been great.
Really, really fantastic. Even when he kissed her on the forehead in the last episode, I was like, oh, so sweet. But I think that, you know, he needs somebody who is not a moral compass because she's seen everything and done everything and been through all these experiences.
She's been witness to so many terrible things that I feel like she no longer has that wonder, but she also has been desensitized a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
She'll stop him. She'll try to stop him from going over a line, but she knows that he'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
And that ultimately her opinion, while it matters to him, it will not factor into a decision that could save lives.
Right. And I think that a new companion at this point is exactly what you need for that, because then they might be stopping them, not realizing that it isn't going to do any good.
Yeah.
Or maybe won't hold back as much.
There's something very interesting, I think, about Matt Smith being the youngest Doctor, but also I think playing the most world-weary Doctor we've seen. And that was definitely a major part of David Tennant's take on the character. You know, there was that warmth and that wisdom to it. But, of course, he did have that that anger that boiled behind it. And, of course, we saw that in the Family of Blood when he dealt with them. But he didn't kill them.
Right.
Matt Smith wears it very much on his brow.
Absolutely.
And it colors every decision that he makes. And I think that, honestly, it's what made his choices in this episode not ring false to me.
Right.
In any other episode, I couldn't imagine myself ever being like, the Doctor has pulled a gun on someone, and I would not think the Doctor wouldn't do that. Instead, I was legitimately, I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this, Doctor?
Yeah.
Please stop. There's got to be another way. I do think that there was a little fudging in the scripting of like the moment where Kahler-Jex is about to be gunned down by the Gunslinger.
Yeah.
And Isaac tackles him out of the way at the last second. But it was just, I know they were teasing it for tension, but that was like the one moment where it jumped off for me.
I totally agree. And here's the thing. Like, I love Ben Browder. I'm a huge, huge Farscape fan. And to see him back, I love him so much.
And he looked so different. He kind of
really
disappeared into that makeup.
Oh, totally, totally.
I
I knew it beforehand, but before I actually knew, and I saw the promo, I was like, I just knew his voice.
Yeah.
Listened to his voice for so many years. I'm not crushing it all, seriously. But I think that moment also sort of existed to give him a big dramatic out.
Yeah.
Which it didn't really work. Although his character was really interesting because having someone else have faith in this guy definitely helped the Doctor.
And it helped the audience, I think.
Yeah.
I think it helped us because it made it less clear. You know, he kept reiterating from the perspective of these townspeople, he saved all of their lives. He made their lives infinitely better. This is a difficult choice for them.
Yeah.
And there's a theme throughout this episode, you know, about scared people. You know, the Doctor says, scared people, give me a Dalek any day.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's nothing more dangerous than someone who is cornered.
Yeah. And actually, I have to say that saying like a Daleks are simple.
Yes.
Daleks live to exterminate.
They live to kill.
That's it. So, like, for me, one of the lines, I can't remember exactly what it was. I wrote it down. But, oh, yeah, wouldn't it be so much simpler if I was one thing?
Yes.
That's what he says to the Doctor.
Absolutely.
And it's totally true. If you were pure evil, it would be very simple. And I think that all of the choices this season, I mean, it was easier last week with that guy because he was
pure evil.
Yeah. So, and that was a very easy decision. I think that might have been sort of to show that moment up too. Well, the Doctor did that and it was out of character, but he still, and I watched it again.
Yeah.
And he does give him a number of chances.
Oh yeah, he gives him a number of opportunities. Walk away.
Yeah.
You can end this without bloodshed.
Yeah.
But if you continue to torture and if you continue to threaten the people that I care about, I will make sure that you can't again.
Yeah.
And I think with the Doctor, he may have patience, but it will wear out.
Yeah.
He can't be perfect forever. And I think that's going back again to that moment where Amy says, we have to be better. And the frustration in his face because he's been better for so long. And do you realize how hard it is to be better when people continue to kill and to torture and to take life from other people? And how can you expect me to save these people and let this person live?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. It really, I mean, honestly, like you said, Matt Smith did an amazing job. Like that moment was just like, you could see that whole inner monologue happening on his face.
It's tragic. It's tragic. And it to me, it elevated what would have been otherwise a weaker episode. Yeah,
I absolutely agree. Yeah, I mean, and there were even things like, I'm sorry, I don't know the actor's name who played Jex, but there were moments where he was like, when he has that scene with Amy where he's like, oh, are you a mom? And it's very sweet. And then that sort of mwahahaha thing that he does. And I sort of wanted him to play it a little more middle of the road.
A little subtler because after he was found out, he started to play the subtleties far more realistically.
Yeah.
Which, I think that if he had played it the whole way through that way, it would have been far more satisfying.
Yeah.
But it did give us... That misdirect, honestly, I think gave us more of an impetus as an audience to want him dead.
Yeah.
And then to really have to suffer through those questions with the Doctor.
Yeah.
We couldn't prejudge the Doctor. We prejudged Kahler-Jex.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there were certain things too about the Gunslinger that were, I mean, there's things that are very tragic and things that are really, I mean, the moment that it really struck me was when there's an innocent and so disengaged. And I was like, oh, wait, this isn't the bad guy.
Yeah, no, we thought that this was just a mindless killer who was holding a town hostage, but instead it was, you know, sort of this just high noon revenge moment of just like, I don't want to kill anyone.
Yeah.
I'm asking for something very reasonable. Give me this war criminal so that I may give him my justice, my planet's justice. That is all I'm asking for. You know, I do not want to hurt people, but if I have to get this done, even I don't have all the patience of the world. And that's sort of an interesting play between the Doctor and the Gunslinger.
Yeah, and even Jex says he's programmed not to kill innocent people unless he has to.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing because even as this war criminal is doing all these terrible things to these unsuspecting people, unsuspecting volunteers, he's still programming don't kill innocents if you can avoid it.
I think that he's ultimately not a bad person, Kahler-Jex.
Yeah.
I think that he was again about people being cornered. The Doctor is cornered in this episode. Kahler-Jex was cornered in this war. We are wiping each other out.
Yeah.
Our planet will be devastated. And I see no other option now that I have this weapon to end the war and save more lives than would have died if I hadn't.
Sounds like a little like Hiroshima, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And you know, the Doctor being cornered. The people of Mercy being cornered. I have to make this choice because to do anything else it might not work. And I can't let these people die.
Yeah.
You know, and that gambit that he pulled at the end with everyone with Kahler-Jex's face tattoo, the automatic targeting, and the Gunslinger being tricked gave Kahler-Jex the time he needed to get out of town. And then, of course, Kahler-Jex's ultimate sacrifice, ending the conflict without further bloodshed. I want to talk about Kahler-Jex's monologue about the souls that we must carry to
that was
heaven,
good.
which to me that's the literary highlight of this episode. Toby Whithouse, who also wrote, I believe, Amy's Choice in the fifth season. Yeah, a very beautiful monologue. On my planet, Doctor, we believe that when we go to heaven, we must climb the mountain carrying all of the souls of those we have wronged in our lives. How many souls do you think I will carry? And of course, the Doctor asks himself that same question. Yeah. And the answer is too many.
Yeah. Well, you figure he's not, I mean, he doesn't die. He regenerates. So this is lifetimes and lifetimes. And considering his heightened life and what he does, like it's just such an unbelievable burden. And you could really see that in Matt Smith's face.
Yeah. I just want to talk about, I got a couple of tweets from some fans. The Geek Matt mentioned that he's doing what he thinks is best for the greater good, but he's mad because every time that he lets someone go, that he gives someone mercy, they continue. Yeah. They do not change. Yeah. They continue waging destruction. And I think that's a very fair point, and it's one that he addressed explicitly in this episode, which the title makes it all the more delicious, if you will. And Ellen Hodge tweets, "It's hard to make moral decisions about likable characters. That's why the Daleks and the Master are easier to hate."
They're simple.
Yeah, they're simple. The Master wants to rule the universe. The Daleks want to exterminate everyone else. It's hard to truly 100% hate someone who is capable of good deeds.
Yeah, yeah. You know, something I was just thinking about, the town itself, first of all, sort of defies the genre a little bit in that almost everyone in the town is nice. Yeah. That just really stuck out to me. But also, they kept saying America's the country of second chances. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, even with like our justice system, and you do give people rehabilitation sometimes or let them out and all of these things. Redemption, exactly. And I just think that was kind of interesting. It just sort of hit me that, you know, not everyone is gray. Nobody's black or white. And it was simple last week because Solomon was
very, very clearly evil. Yeah. Yeah. He was someone who was given a chance to redeem himself, multiple chances, and he was pushed out an airlock. But even then, if he knew how to stop the missiles from hitting him, he could have.
It's true.
It's not like the Doctor shot him in the face. It's not like the Doctor threw him into space. That would be...
That's very Battlestar Galactica.
That would be a shark jumping, yes. And speaking of other sci-fi shows, just because it was the Western episode, how much do you long for the Firefly Doctor Who crossover that we will never get?
Oh my God. Well, you guys know there's a comic book crossover with Doctor Who and Star Trek.
The Next Generation, which is great so far. You should pick it up if you can.
Totally fantastic. But I would love to, I mean, what an incredible thing. I was just sent the 10th anniversary, this giant leather-bound, thick, super thick book with all Firefly stuff. And so I'm feeling very, very nostalgic and wanting to watch the whole thing again. And
no, the majority of the episode was shot very traditionally, but there were a few kind of like zoom moments, like from the Gunslinger's point of view, and that sort of made me yearn for those bygone days.
Doesn't it? Oh my God!
Doesn't it?
Before we forget, I have to mention iTunes.
Oh yes,
guys, make sure you subscribe on iTunes and rate us well, please, because we like nice ratings.
Yes,
and leave comments because we actually do read all of them.
We read all the comments. Anyone on YouTube will attest. We read them. We respond to them. We love our fans.
Yes,
and,
we love you.
Yes, we love you. And if you don't rate, I will find you.
Oh, and he's wearing a Stetson.
I'm wearing
Stetsons
a Stetson.
are cool.
Stetsons are not only cool, they are also a sign of gunslinging ability or whatever.
Oh, I loved a lot of those shots. I know we're going to get to this, but where he had the Stetson over his eyes and just lifted his head. I was like, oh, they are cool. Stetsons are cool.
Mythic.
So awesome.
He is a character of mythic, godlike proportions. He can look cool. Like he could look cool wearing anything. He could look cool wearing a dress. I mean, we'd laugh.
Yes,
but then
we
the
would.
look on his face, I think, would change our minds.
Yeah, all right, there are a couple of little things I wanted to point out here.
Please do.
While we've paused. This isn't a funny thing, but this is something that that I think Isaac said. You're both good men. You just forget it sometimes. As he was dying, I just thought that was a fantastic line. There really were some good lines.
Yeah.
Toast crumbs on the console.
Oh.
Yep.
Darn those toast crumbs.
I know. They mess with everything. But I thought that was kind of cute. Also, can we point out how much the bartender lady looks like River Song?
Yes, she does. She looks a lot like a cross between River Song and I'm blanking on her name, but the woman in the New Earth era who was a slab of skin. Yep. And it's killing me that I can't remember.
I know,
her
I
name.
can't either. Guys, if you remember, tweet us.
Tweet at us pronto.
Yeah, because it's really funny. Like she seemed to be, though she only had one line or two lines, I believe. Yeah. She seemed to be prominently featured in pretty much every crowd scene.
You know, another thing that was prominently featured, and Doctor Who does this a lot. There were the blinking light bulbs.
Yes.
Were a motif throughout. And I thought that the Doctor's solution at the end was somehow going to involve this electrical system.
I thought so too.
But this is the second episode this season where the Doctor has looked specifically at a flickering light bulb. Or there's been a close-up of a flickering light bulb between this one and an Asylum of the Daleks.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's a very, 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 very veiled, significant thing.
You know, it certainly could be. Yeah. I mean, if you go back and watch episodes from seasons that have already been completed, you can definitely see little things throughout them.
Right.
Wouldn't surprise me. Also, you ever have those dreams where like you can't wake up and you have to like shake yourself to wake up because you know you're... All right. For me, it's light bulbs. I know it's weird.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea. If you guys want to analyze me, that's totally fine. But I always walk around my house in the dream and all the light bulbs are out and I keep trying to turn them on or change them and they don't work and then it turns into this like horrible, horrible nightmare.
Oh my God.
So I definitely notice the light bulbs.
That's interesting.
Yeah, guys, if you have any idea what that means, please let me know.
Yeah.
You can
There's got to be a website for that.
I've looked, but I haven't found anything about light bulbs. So guys, seriously, let me know if you find anything. I also noticed there aren't a lot of women in this town.
No.
There's like 4.
Yeah, there were a couple. Not a ton of kids either. Oh, that poor little girl, when she bumped those books, I'm like, no!
Oh,
no,
he actually did yell that when we were just screening it.
I'm like, he gonna find you! Back up! Don't do it!
Oh my God, but she did. When he saw her, he did back up.
Yeah, of course, because he's not going to harm, like, a child is a pure innocent.
Yeah, and just adorable.
Cassandra, thank you, the geek Matt. You're the best.
Oh,
Cassandra
nice.
was the name of the skin slab woman.
Oh, that's awesome.
From
okay,
season
cool.
1 of the new series.
Cool. Yeah, I got 3 different treats about that. Cassandra O'Brien.
Yeah, Cassandra O'Brien.
That's awesome. There's I'm just looking through my notes here to see. Oh, this is another little random thing.
Yeah.
But you know that trip he was going to take with Amy and Rory
Day
to
of the
see
Dead.
the monkeys and the dogs that went into space and what really happened? I kind of want to see that now.
I really want to see that because of the glee in his voice when he was like, "You won't believe what happened to them."
I want to know.
Oh my God, no! They wound up on somebody's ship and they were about to get cooked.
Right, or
Yeah.
monkeys now ride horses.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, dogs like horses.
Yeah.
I've just messed that up completely, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that was all of them, but I wanted to talk about that. We should also maybe well, actually, before we do that, let's talk about Fox.
Yes, please do.
All right, so we're going to talk about the new stuff coming up on Fox. Now, I know you saw the Mindy Project.
I saw the Mindy Project and I saw Ben and Kate.
And what did you think?
I really liked them, actually. I think that out of all the comedy pilots that are coming out for this fall, they're definitely the strongest. Nat Faxon is really funny on Ben and Kate. He's just got this like childlike glee to him that's just really funny. Like he wears it well on his face. And Mindy Project is like kind of edgy, actually.
Ooh.
It's kind of.
I love Mindy.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's amazing.
I love her sense of humor. It's very biting. Chris Messina is hilarious on that show. I think he's going to become that show's secret weapon. And in a year where we've seen a lot of shows like Girls premiere, and we're handling, femininity and sexuality in kind of a different, more honest way.
Yeah.
I think Mindy Project appreciates that, and it approaches it in a very genuine way where she kind of admits her own failings, but that she's working at it.
Yeah.
And I really like that because it's honest. It's honest, and you don't get tons of that on network.
That's really cool. Okay, now I'm excited to watch them.
Yeah.
So I know the Fox's big premiere is Tuesday, September 25th
Yes.
at 8 p.m. So we're also going to have 2 new episodes of The New Girl.
I love New Girl.
New Girl is awesome. So 2 of them, guys. Kind of amazing. So we just wanted to catch you up on all of that. And so watch Fox on Tuesday, 8 p.m.,
do.
25th. All right, you and I were talking beforehand about something we saw I saw it on Tumblr. I don't know where you saw it.
Yeah.
But if you guys haven't seen it yet, look up TARDIS Bar.
Oh, yeah, I saw this on Imgur.
It's
It was
so
so cool. So cool. Spacious. And he had, whoever had it had everything.
Oh, yeah.
Fully
stocked bar.
Oh, beautiful old scotches and
I love
bourbons
scotch.
and gins. There are lots of great pictures of TARDIS hacks, TARDIS rooms that people have made.
Yeah.
I was talking about this weekend about if there was going to be a Doctor Who wedding, a TARDIS chuppah for a Jewish wedding.
Oh, that's
How funny would
awesome.
that be? And it would be bigger on the inside.
Oh, my God.
That
You
would
were
be
saying
so
you wanted
funny.
to build a TARDIS room.
Yeah, I would. But if I was going to build a TARDIS room, it would have to look like there are 3 exposed sides of the TARDIS outside, but you open it and it's immediately bigger on the inside. I don't want a box that leads into a room.
As you said, you don't want a foyer?
I don't want a TARDIS foyer. I want it to be an optical illusion that becomes this amazing, much bigger room that's blue, TARDIS blue on the inside. A mini console that handles my home entertainment system, maybe.
And plays nothing but Doctor Who.
Oh, of course. It's just loaded up.
And hidden
100%.
somewhere are the lost episodes of Doctor Who.
That exist, hopefully, somewhere.
They have to. They have to.
Damn you, BBC.
I know.
It's such a shame. It's so many great programs. For those of you who don't know, the BBC used to tape over their old tapes. They would reuse them back in the early days, 60s, 70s, 80s. So unfortunately, there are a lot of episodes that we will unfortunately never get to see.
Which makes me sad.
Yeah, but there's still some with audio recordings out there. There are ways to kind of catch up on those lost bits of Doctor Who history. But it's up to us modern Whovians to unearth it and really seek it out because it's a very, very rich past to this show.
Well, speaking of the lore and the canon of everything, something you found out from a Sarah Jane episode.
Yes, a fan tweeted me an article from The Guardian in 2010 that mentioned in an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures featuring Matt Smith, called The Death of the Doctor, one of the kids on that show asked the Doctor, how many times can you regenerate? And we were discussing this last week, that there are only 12 regenerations as established in 1974.
Yeah.
That there can only be 13 Doctors, and then the Doctor would die. He says, there's no direct quote in the article, so I really want to double check it. And if you're out there, fans, and you know this quote, or you can tell me that this is bogus, tell me. But he essentially tells him that he can regenerate as many times as he wants. which is kind of great that something that so fundamentally changes the lore of the show. They didn't, you know, put it on the mothership show and potentially have a massive outcry. They just quietly retconned that bit of information. Just quietly, I can regenerate as many times as I want. You know, I spent 200 years between season 5 and the end of season 6. I could have figured out a way to stop that. And the end. So deal with it.
It's really interesting. In fact, we'd love comments on this because I find it fascinating. I'm a comic book fan, so I'm used to everything being retconned.
Yeah.
So this is not this is not shocking to me.
It's not news.
No. But it is something that for people, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think people who are more into TV shows than things like comics find that difficult to handle.
It is. It's hard, and I'm not as much of a comic guy. I read some trade paperbacks and so on like that. But
I'll work on that.
Yeah. Okay. But. Honestly, that's why I'm happy they didn't put it in the main show, and they're going to have to defend it at some point.
They're definitely going to have to defend it.
But if it was just presented with no reason why in the main show cavalierly like that, then I would be furious. But I think that they've presented it. Those who want to seek it out know about it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think that they will introduce that nugget of information in a very grounded fashion at the end of this season.
Yeah.
I think that if they've decided that, if the Moffat presidency, if you will, or ministership has decided that, we're going to get the definitive explanation this year.
I hope so. I would actually really like to know.
And there were a lot of great theories that we got from fans on the YouTube page this week, mostly dealing with River Song's regenerations, her putting 9 regenerations into the Doctor when she gave him all of them. That would bring him to a total of 22, 22 Doctors.
That's lovely years of television.
Yes. Oh my God, can you imagine 22 Doctors in the same room? Oh lordy.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. Oh, here's something really random that occurred to me. I don't know if this is a silly thing, but when the Undertaker was handing, first of all, the use of the Undertaker, totally classic Western.
So funny.
Really funny. But he handed the Doctor a cup of coffee.
I totally thought it was drugged. I thought
did
it was
too.
drugged, and they were gonna take Kahler-Jex and put him outside, and then it wasn't. And
but he made a face.
Yeah. And I totally thought that that was drugged. It was a red herring.
Yeah.
Because they gave it so much time. He considered the cup.
Yeah, he sneered at the cup a little bit.
He sniffed the cup, and then he drank the cup, and everything was fine.
Yeah, like he didn't drink it until after what the Undertaker said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did look at it like there was something wrong with it.
He didn't trust him. But then that also goes back to everyone in Mercy is nice.
It's true.
Everyone in Mercy has mercy.
Oh, they're so sweet. They're like, welcome to our town. Because
Yes.
that happens in Westerns.
That happens in Westerns.
Oh, no, we love this new guy. It's fine what he did. No, we're totally love him.
Well, he did save all their lives.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And he gave them light bulbs.
Yeah. Well, they were about to throw the Doctor out at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, alien Doctor, get him out.
Yeah, it's just really that was just another little moment that worked really, really well and sort of stuck out for me. I'm looking to see if there were more moments because there were certain moments. One of the things that stuck out for me, I know we can talk about some of the production, is the soundtrack.
Yeah. Murray Gold did such a great job this week. He really blended Western music tropes with the traditional score. It didn't feel out of place, but it felt very grounded in the time period. Which is always nice. He does such a great job on the score. The score from season 5 on has just been so phenomenal. The Doctor's theme established in season 5 is like one of my favorite pieces of composition ever. I could get that stuck in my head for days.
Oh, totally.
I could listen to it forever. That moment in season 5, episode 1, in the 11th hour, when he steps through all the images of the past Doctors.
Oh my God.
Or and he's dressing and all that. Superb. I love the music. The way it was shot, they shot this episode in Spain on an old spaghetti Western set.
Love that. I love that they did that.
I love that they're really throwing money into this show this year.
Yeah.
It looked spectacular, I thought.
Yeah.
Really the only visual thing that I felt kind of was a little lackluster was the Gunslinger. Once he was out of the shadows and he was in the town and we saw him for extended periods of time, the arm felt a little wonky.
It did.
But other than that, I thought it was great. The costuming was great. We just got a tweet From I Am Matt Shelton. He says that it's the best thing from Murray Gold since season 5.
That's Matt Shelton actually has a really amazing podcast that I was a guest on where we talked about beer and Doctor Who. It's called Super Pint Brothers, and you guys have to check it out.
I've heard of Super Pint Brothers.
Have you? Well, because it's awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, so go watch my episode. I talk about Doctor Who. And he's a very, very cool guy. He was part of the giant rooming group at Dragon Con.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Yeah. We just got a tweet from the Geek Matt. He's saying that this Sarah Jane Adventures regeneration comment was a joke. The Doctor claims that he can regenerate 507 times. However, Russell T Davies, who wrote the episode or was shepherding Sarah Jane Adventures at the time, said that this was an offhand joke, a snide comment to the young boy. So the rules have not been changed. Everybody put down your torches, your pitchforks, your revolvers, whatever you were going to do.
Revolvers, this is a Western.
Angry letters you were going to write, strongly worded tweets you were going to send. Stop. Hold the presses. We're fine.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We're totally good. Actually, Matt, I'm dying to know what you think of this episode, so make sure you send this in, because... yeah, we had long discussions about Doctor Who.
Yes.
Over large quantities of alcohol.
Aha. Which is the best way.
It really is the best way.
Other than this right here.
Other than this.
Or on our comment boards on our YouTube page or on the iTunes
which
page.
you may feel free to comment on while drinking.
Yes. I would love that. Mm-hmm. And I will comment back while drinking.
As will I.
Great.
Yes.
That's a promise. Just specify, just put in parentheses, drunk or drinking or maybe just a DR.
Yep.
Well, we might think that's doctor. I don't
know. Oh, yeah,
especially
no, go with drunk or
if we're
drinking.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
I think that this episode was just very, very lush, but it makes me more and more excited for the 2 episodes that we haven't seen, just because all of the promos for this season were footage from the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And once we get past our little spoiler wall, we'll discuss what's coming. Which I don't know if you have anything further to add about this episode.
I think we ripped it to pieces.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to tell anyone who does not want to be spoiled about the future of this series, we're going to be speculating about future episodes and sort of the arc of the show. And if you don't want any of that information, please tune out now. We will miss you and we will see you next week. For those who want to stay, welcome to the zone of speculation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A zone.
Was it realm or zone? I thought it was zone.
I like zone.
I like zone. I think we're keeping it. I think
we should.
We're adopting zone, filling out the paperwork, and we are keeping it.
Zone it is.
Yeah.
Now I only saw up to the little the promo for next week cut off.
Okay. I saw it. And I literally, I was watching it with my girlfriend, and I screamed, "This is gonna be the best episode ever! Let's rewatch that!" And I rewatched the promo twice. It got me really excited.
I could tell.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I'm excited about with this episode. Russell T Davies, when he ran the show, he was always really excellent at developing the characters and grounding our companions.
Yeah.
We got a lot of their home life. We understood a lot of how they perceived the world and how the effects of being with the Doctor, not only on themselves, but their relatives.
Yeah.
And we had a lot more episodes on Earth in present day. Mm-hmm. Stephen Moffat, I think, does science fiction better than Russell T Davies, but we often feel that a little bit lacking. We get our character development on the companions in subtext and in, big plot shifts like at the beginning of the season with the divorce plot line.
Yeah.
But next episode is grounded entirely on Earth in the present day during what is teased as the year-long invasion, wherein Amy and Rory have to decide. There's a scene in the promo where they discuss, we have 2 lives. We have our Doctor life and we have our home life. But we don't have room for both. It's time to choose.
Yeah.
It's finally time to choose, which makes it all the more crushing when we have to say goodbye to them in the next episode, because either they choose to end their adventures with the Doctor
or they die.
Right. Well, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure they're gonna die.
Yeah.
in the 5th episode. But what's going to make it more heartbreaking for me and for anybody who doesn't read ahead, whoever you are, what's going to be more heartbreaking for me is I think they're going to say, you know, I think we're done, Doctor. We have to say goodbye. And he says, one more trip.
Yeah.
One more trip. And then he loses them and it's his fault. Holy.
But imagine, like, how dark are they going to go with the Doctor?
They've gone pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean,
before.
they've definitely gone super dark, but I just wonder if, I wonder what that's going to do. I wonder if that's really going to push him over the edge and if it's going to change Matt Smith's portrayal. Though, like we said, he has gone much darker this season so far.
I think it's been a slow slide from the beginning of season 6 through now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have no doubt that he could handle going crazy, crazy dark.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it'll be interesting to see what this new companion does and if she can shake him out of it.
I really hope that she can. One of my favorite moments in the show ever is from a Stephen Moffat episode from the first season, The Doctor Dances.
Yeah.
Which on there's a website, and I mentioned it in both episodes. I need to really write down this URL before a show, where they have an active ranking of every Doctor Who ever broadcast, and you can put in your own rankings and your own votes. Doctor Dances and The Empty Child is currently number 2 under Blink. In The Doctor Dances, he is able to get the nanogenes to work, and he's like, come on. It's like, it's a miracle, Rose. Everybody lives. For once, everybody lives.
Oh my God.
And it's a beautiful moment. And he almost tears up because he's just been through a war where everybody that he's ever known died. And all of the Daleks died, and all the Time Lords were time locked. And everybody lived for once. And why can't we just have that moment? You know, like, let us feel the heartbreak of them potentially dying, but let's have them live. Let's maybe, like, granted, we can't undo this because we want the Weeping Angels for many seasons to come, but I'm like,
please.
what if he could change them all so that they're all people and they're happy? Come on.
They don't make angry face anymore.
No, they don't make angry face. They don't steal the time. They don't break the necks. Nothing. How about, why can't we all just get along, Weeping Angels? Dang.
Oh, there's the accent again.
Yeah. I think I'm going to keep this on till the end of the show. I think I will.
Yeah, it will be really interesting to see what happens. I mean, I've gone through, I've talked to people about it. I've heard some people say, well, that the divorce plot line because she couldn't have kids is going to come up again, and that the
power of 3.
Yep, or that saying that, oh, someone said to me the other day that they'll have Amy pregnant.
Yeah.
And then kill her off.
Oh!
I know.
I would quiver with rage.
Wouldn't you?
I would quiver with rage. That is atrocious.
Isn't it? But I'm not going to tell you who said it because it is kind of atrocious.
Stephen Moffat, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't pull that trigger. Look at his face.
He'll challenge you to a duel.
I'll challenge you the same way I challenged Roth last week. And according to the comments, guess who won? Ding, ding.
And she's not here this week.
I know.
Hi,
I
Roth.
miss her. Yeah, hi, Roth. I didn't mean that.
You really killed her off, didn't you?
No, I'm just competitive.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. But yeah, I mean, if that's something that happened, could you imagine? Because I just, like, for me, that specific, and the reason this came up is because I was talking about that was such a sort of throwaway thing.
Yeah.
It really was. Like,
yeah, and we talked
whatever.
about that at length in the first episode of just like, this is out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would we have this? To bring it back, I think we have a lot of threads this season that need to come back. Otherwise, they just exist.
Yeah.
Okay, we have, from the first episode, we have the pregnancy plotline. We have Oswin. Yeah. We have the Dalek wristwatches, or whatever they were, that prevented the nano cloud from changing them into Daleks that were taken off of Amy and the Doctor for extended periods of time. You know, the Amy got hers back on, thankfully, but the Doctor didn't.
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the time that he was there. So, and we never tied that off. So we potentially, in episode 5, or even later in the season, with the Doctor, have him potentially turning into a Dalek, whatever that means, or at least he's
mind blown.
And I don't know how Stephen Moffat would dig his way out of that hole. I know that he can, because he's amazing, but we want to see those tied off. I don't know that there were many extraneous plot lines left up in the air from the last episode. I mean, we have Nefertiti with the space gun in 1902, but
there's that.
We can assume that we're not going back there.
I have a feeling that was just to make us laugh.
That's just fun and funny. We have the lovely Mark Williams coming back.
Yes.
Next episode as Rory's dad,
I'm
Brian.
so excited that he's back.
Me too. He was so good.
He was
last week.
He was brilliant.
And I'm really excited to see her again. I think that there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up. We have 2 big episodes, and then our break, Christmas special break. And then we get 7 episodes in a row in the spring.
Yeah.
Which I cannot wait.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We're not going to have any 2-parters this fall, which means there's definitely going to be at least one in the spring.
Yeah.
Maybe not an overly arced one, but Doctor Who was based on these multi-part episodes. So we're going to get some of that. I want to talk about this 1-year invasion on the next episode.
Yeah.
We saw sort of a laughing alien face. We have these little cubes with numbers on them counting down, which to me reminds me of Torchwood Children of Earth with the 456.
Yep.
And that's honestly one of the reasons why I'm so excited, because that was a piece of science fiction that was very grounded in humanity. And Russell T Davies loved those motifs.
It was dark.
Yeah, of just like taking one primal fear that we have, and Stephen Moffat does this in his Monsters, taking one primal fear that we have and then elevating it to a global scale.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an alien invasion of Earth that succeeds because it's a year long.
Yeah.
And the effects of that on the family and so on, which if you remember Turn Left from season 4, and we see what happens in the wake of the Titanic crashing, and just sort of all of Europe falling apart. Like, that was like so brutal, but like really, really rich.
Yeah.
It was very much about the power of the human spirit. And I think we're going to get a lot of that and a lot of character development next week, which is why I'm beyond excited. Like, as much as I love Stephen Moffat's great writer's voice when it comes to science fiction, we need a good Amy Rory catch-up episode. Let's get into their heads one last time before we say goodbye.
I can't believe it's 2 more episodes.
I know. It's so hard to say goodbye.
It is.
It so is.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
we have to wrap up.
No!
That was really excellent. It's sort of like you planned that.
Yeah.
But did you plan that?
No, I didn't plan it.
Woo!
I didn't know you were going to do that. This is improv. This is live.
I'm on.
Yeah, you're on point.
All right, guys. Well, definitely leave us tons of comments. We really want to know what you think.
Please do.
And if you have any ideas, especially theories about what's going to happen next.
Yes.
If you do that, make sure you say, or if you're going to put any spoilers in, just make sure you say it, because obviously there are people who don't want to hear it.
We don't want to spoil it for other people. Let everybody enjoy the show themselves at their own pace.
Yeah, but do leave us your theories about how they're going to go. In fact, I just got one more tweet. Let's see, from J. Emerson Bell, boy_Marvel on Twitter, saying he wants the Pawns to become angels or some sort of alien species, anything but die.
Yeah. Well, hey, if they become angels, how awesome would it be if the Doctor encounters those same angels later in the series and has to deal with them? That would be awesome. What if they turn into angels in the first 10 minutes of Angels Take Manhattan? I don't know if I could take it.
No, my
I
heart is just not strong enough for that. All right, guys. Well, also make sure you rate us nicely, please.
Please
and you can follow AfterBuzz TV on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. You can follow me at Jenna Busch, B-U-S-C-H, like the beer, not the president.
Yes, and I am at Matt Lieberman, Lieberman. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.